you search for this video, I'm guessing it's because you've just bought a rod and it doesn't fit together properly. Sometimes it's a bit tight, sometimes the actual spigot doesn't go all the way in, and it leaves a bit of a gap like on this rod here. This is a fairly common question, and I see a lot of answers on Facebook groups and forums, and there come in all sorts of forms of ways to combat this. There is far flung as putting a bit of candle wax on the tip, or taking a drill with a sander attachment and just taking some of the carbon off of it. I've even had a few people say, you know, take a knife and just slate some of it off, or even a chisel. And quite a common one is people use a bit of wet and dry, fine wet and dry, or sandpaper. Give the spigot a rub down, and then it'll all fit together nice and snug. The problem is, if you do that, you can end up with a rod that looks like this. Here's another rod I have, has the same problem. Doesn't fit in all the way. You see there, it's only got about half the spigot goes in to the female part of the rod, and I've got a great big gap there. Okay, the best thing to do with this is absolutely nothing. That is how the rod is designed. It's designed to wear. The minute you start rubbing it down, scratching a bit away, you're going to invalidate your warranty rod for a start. Putting candle wax on is only actually going to make it worse. It's actually the opposite thing to do. If you've got a rod that's pretty worn and you still want to use that favourite rod, then yes, use a little bit of candle wax on. It'll grip the rod a little bit better. I wouldn't be going pendulum casting with a rod like that though. So, as I said, absolutely nothing. That's what you need to do. It will eventually wear over a number of years. This one I've had for about 6 or 7 years now, and it's not even got past the halfway point. What you don't want to do though is have a rod that maybe only less than a quarter actually fits into the spigot. That is a bit of an issue. If you do get that, take it back to your tackle shop and say, look, is this right? They'll be the best people to advise on that, but generally I would say about halfway or a little bit under is a normal starting point for any new rod that you get. I hope this has saved you your rod. Should you get your rod into the state where you've forced it in and it's stuck and you're really struggling to get it out, there's a couple of things you can do. If you're lucky enough and be able to get your rod home, a pair of marigolds is actually absolutely brilliant, because they really grip the rod, and you can get a really good grip on the rod and take it apart. Failing that, the other thing to do, it's a bit drastic, and if you're on a beach and maybe it's the only way you're going to get it into your car, is grab the rod by the two adjacent eyes and use them as a twist point. It's about the only option you will probably have. It could possibly damage your rings, but if it's a case of that and not getting home, you don't really have much choice.